I'm having some difficulty with the audio recorder. It's not working. It's the on off. Usually it turns on as a little Philips display, and then it like turns to the normal screen. But it's like, as you can see, it just doesn't seem to be functioning. They're freshly charged batteries. Anyway, so I guess maybe I'll get a, I guess maybe I'll get a different audio recorder. Okay, I read, okay, it's currently about 4:57 p.m. on February 9th, 2020. I read the Patriot Act off of congress.gov website. So section 802, definition of domestic terrorism. Section A5B. So section A5B of section 802 of the U.S. Patriot Act. Appear to be intended to intimidate or coerce a civilian population, to influence the policy of a government by intimidation or coercion, or to affect the conduct of a government by mass destruction, assassination, or kidnapping, and occur primarily within the territorial jurisdiction of the United States. So what does it say? By striking. So by striking, assassination, or kidnapping. By mass destruction, assassination, or kidnapping. Oh no, excuse me. So section A5, the term domestic terrorism means activities that involve acts dangerous to human life that are a violation of the criminal laws of the United States or of any state, and then appear to be intended to intimidate or coerce. Okay, so appear to be intended to intimidate or coerce a civilian population, to influence the policy of the government by intimidating or coercion, or to affect the conduct of a government by mass destruction, assassination, or kidnapping, and occur primarily with nature. Okay, so I wrote the second part of it down. So I already talked about, in previous videos, I've talked about crimes that I believe have occurred in the United States, or in the state of California. They're in videos starting with file names starting with the digits 2001 and 2002. So video files that have that start with those digits as the start of the file names have videos of me like explaining how I believe events that occurred 2011 to 2020 constitute or amount to violations of the California Penal Code. So there are videos about that, and in addition to those videos, I'm reading the what I'm gonna go to the top of the screen real quick. The title of it, it's on congress.gov, HR 3162. Uniting and strengthening America by providing appropriate tools required to intercept and obstruct terrorism, U.S. Patriot Act, Act of 2001. And then it's text HR 3162, 107th Congress, 2001 to 2002. So shown here, enrolled bill. So this is the U.S. Patriot Act I'm looking at, and I'm looking at section, where'd it go? Looking at section 802, definition of domestic terrorism. So section 802, section A5. The term domestic terrorism means activities that involve acts dangerous to human life. So the violent crimes against me, so violent crimes against people, so that would be like dangerous to my life, you know. I guess I don't know if it was like danger of like fatality, but I would say like as far as like injury to myself and like my life, I'm not sure how they define life in that. Anyway, violations of laws that were like injurious to me. They like injured me, injured my brain, or I suspect they did. I strongly suspect. Sorry, I'm not like recalling the situation very well. I think I did this before. Anyway. Okay, so. I wonder how they define that. Sorry, I'm a little excited. Okay, so dangerous to human life. They injured me. No, I'm still alive. So I'm not sure if they're. I'll have to think if my life was ever in danger as far as like fatality. I haven't really thought about that. Yet. There might be, I'm not sure how they defined acts dangerous to human life. Okay, but I said how I thought stuff was like a violation of criminal laws of California. Looking at the California Penal Code in previous videos. Okay, and so Section 5B, appear to be intended to intimidate or coerce a civilian population. So there's stuff with like the everybody thing, what goes on with that. There's stuff with like, these people, I think like Robert Grant and Clark Anderson, they do a lot to, there's possibly Robert Grant. I think he like might participate in like what goes on like with information that's distributed to people, to like large amounts of people, through this advanced technology. I suspect like a lot of people get some similar where it's like distributed through some sort of groups of people. I know possibly with Southern California and like the entertainment industry there. And I think it might also be kind of like sort of like it's like an international city, so it might be said that you might find more like advanced technology forefront stuff, or stuff that's at, stuff about advanced technology going on there. Sorry, I'm not really thinking very well right now. What else is there? Okay, I'll try and do a different video about this. I'm not like putting it together very well right now. By intimidation. Okay, so what does coerce mean? I'm gonna look up coerce real quick. I'm a little scattered right now for some reason. I haven't really like coerce. Persuade an unwilling person to do something by using force or threats. There's stuff with I guess there'd be stuff with if the wildfires, like the Tubbs fire in Sonoma County, turned out to be arson by these people who were doing stuff like during 2014 to 2020, or some people who were doing stuff during 2014 2020. That might be considered. What did that say? Persuade. It might be persuade to do something by using force or threats. Possibly, So it's coerce. What else is there? Okay, influence the policy of a government by intimidation or coercion. There's been stuff with like the prison stuff. There's been stuff about the prison stuff. There's also been stuff with because these people like Robert Grant might like control or might be able to influence like a lot of the that people get, and a lot of like the knowledge that's that's possibly disseminated to like large amounts of people. And also with all like the celebrities involved. With all the celebrities involved, I think they might also have like a large amount like followers that are like, like a large amounts of people who like, get like receive some of their So I mean, even just one of those people probably, like how many people get like Taylor Swift's O, or like Justin Timberlake's O, or like, George Clooney's O, or like, I'm not sure. I'm not certain about this thing. Maybe, I could be way off. I didn't go in and I think there might be people who know more about this. But what I'm trying to say is that I think there might be like the capacity, or like with the people involved, I think there might be like, it's possible these people could like send O, or like, send O to a lot of people out in the world, and like a lot of, large amounts of people. So they'd at least have like the ability, or might possibly have the ability. Then again, I'm not sure what like constraints those people are under, and sort of like what world like those people operate in, and like what they go through, and like, there's so much about this I don't know. What I mean to say is that, or I don't know, Sorry, I kind of don't feel like myself right now, so I'm not sure if I should keep making a video. I feel like I could have explained this better had I started at a different time. Had I tried at a different time, like possibly tomorrow. I kind of just want to make sure it got on video, so I guess I'll just, okay, I'll try and, okay. Intimidation or coercion. Oh, and the stuff with the prison stuff, like, there was a period, like, I think during like late 2019, where there was a lot of communication, like, about like prison stuff, and about like cell confinement. Cell confinement, that's sort of like, there was stuff about like how like the Everybody Show was going on, and like we hadn't like addressed like certain issues, like it had gone on for so long, and a lot of things like still hadn't happened. And one of those things I think might have been that we hadn't like addressed like prison issues, and that like I think one of the things that came up was that like cell torture, small cell confinement torture, like in prisons, like putting people in small cells and keeping them there, is like torturous, or like it's like unnecessarily torturous. You could just as soon like let those people out into like a large area outside, like a large walled area outside, and allow them like, like freedom of movement, like 100 yards to like run around in at least, if not like multi-square acres, like large areas over land. Like you could separate dangerous people from the population by dangerous people from the population. You could also like detain people. You could deter people. I don't know if that stuff like is healthy or like what you should be doing, but you could like separate people from the general population, just by keeping a large outdoor area. Sorry, I came about this the wrong way. My head's gonna. All right. Yeah. Okay. What was I talking about? Oh, okay. So it's like this everybody thing, I guess, is like where this stuff would come into. Sorry, I'm not explaining well. I'll try to do a different video about this. So there was that issue, like, but I'm not sure, like, yeah, I'm explaining this poorly. Anyway, this is a casual video, I'm sorry. If I could call it a government mass destruction, assassination, kidnapping. Mass destruction, well, there was the wildfire stuff. There was, there was train derailments during 2011 to 2020. Stuff I saw on the TV, and I went like, I wonder if that has to do with what we were doing, like all the neurotech stuff. There was the fire in Oakland, the ghost ship fire. Like a bunch of people like burned to death and like died. So that. Assassination. There's been like celebrities that have died, or like supposedly died. There was that Google exec around like 2013, 2014, who died. Who like the female, I think, like was with him when he died of a heroin overdose or something, or like something like that. There was stuff about that, and that was right around 2013, 2014, when all like stuff was like kicking up in the harassment assault and battery that I was enduring. Had the everybody thing going. bunch of females going rah 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 or whatever it is they were doing, however it is they were going. I'm not sure what, I guess, yeah. I don't want to say what they were doing or maybe I do if I knew, but there was stuff going on, suspicion. All right, kidnapping. There's the stuff they've been doing to me, 2011 to 2020, like constant harassment. So I'm essentially I'm like detained by constant surveillance and constant harassment. So constant interaction. It's like, my captors are following me around constantly and harassing me, or were following me around constantly and observing me and harassing me. I'm referencing a lot of stuff that's on videos prior to this, so that's why it kind of might sound a little different. Oh, and the way they go with the everybody thing is, it is strange. At least I thought it was strange. I thought, it kind of surprised me, I guess I should say. Like the conduct of a government by mass. And kidnapping. There's all this stuff like strange people come along, start harassing people or doing things for people or even just communicating to people through advanced technologies, and might possibly lead these people away. This might be something that goes on in America. They might lead them away or lead them towards groups or I'm not sure what goes on, but there might be a lot of kidnapping going on through this advanced technology. And I think because it has the ability to observe someone's thoughts and and also batter them or observe someone's thoughts, data process, computerized data process the thoughts, so it can react to it can recognize the thought, and then it can cause someone to experience a battery or something. It can cause an ache or a pain, or cause them to cough, or cause them to bite their tongue accidentally or involuntarily, or an involuntary movement, or an annoying facial muscle twitch, or anything. Or you can they can cause the heart to speed up and feel it, or you can cause your testicles to shrink, cause a vagina to loosen, you can cause a chest to enlarge, cause a butt to expand, it can cause someone's anus to leak fluid. So it can react to someone in all these ways. It can do all these little subtle batteries to people, sometimes subtle, sometimes not, it can do all sorts of things. It can cause you to have a seizure. It can cause you to it can cause you to feel your neck is super vulnerable, and cause have an experience of fear of if I do something, my neck's gonna freaking my neck's gonna break or something. It can do all these things, and I think it can do all these things in an automated way, so that if this technology recognizes that you're experiencing a thought, or that you're recalling a memory, possibly a memory of something they want kept, possibly a memory people want kept secret, or perpetrators want kept secret, or a memory of perpetrators actually battering someone, or having thoughts about. So even just having thoughts about the battery that someone's enduring could cause didn't get it. So this advanced technology can remotely, after observing or sensing that someone is having a particular thought or experiencing a memory, or something like that, it can cause automatically it can cause a small battery to occur. This person gets assaulted, battered in a particular way, and this person could know that, and so that they're motivated not to have these thoughts. It could even be if they open up and start talking about something, the batteries get even worse. So I'm having a thought, I'm getting battered, I'm going, I don't want to think about this, I'm being battered, so I don't think about it that much. And if I start thinking about it and then I want to talk about it, even this technology could recognize that this person is even just considering talking about it, and the battery could increase. And then if they actually do start talking about it, the battery could increase even more. And even more so, it could be that this technology just completely prevents this person from talking. Like this person just will not open their mouth regardless. Like it's that like powerful, or it has that, I strongly suspect it has that ability. So, I'm sitting here describing like, oh, this technology is going to batter you if you think about it. If you think about this idea, and it's going to batter you even more if you talk about it. When really this technology could prevent someone from even having the thought, or like even moving from the thought. It could even put a block between the thought and like actually going through with the act of talking about something. It can do all these things. So, it could be that these people just completely like, it could be that you just leave out like the creative like urge or creative concept, or like, what's a creative concept anyway, like where do any thoughts come from? Kind of. Okay. So it has the ability to batter someone who's like having a thought, possibly even having a thought about possibly complaining about this advanced technology that's battering someone, that's battering them, or these people that they suspect are programming this advanced technology to batter me, or to batter someone if they have a thought about the people who are programming this advanced technology to batter this person, So these are like concepts that I think people go through. And I suspect, a lot of people go through. And if that's occurring, like, it just seems like a relevant concept. Okay, back to the Patriot Act. So, all right. So there was a lot there, and I kind of trailed off on something, like a different. Okay. I guess I'll try and make a video about this later. But so that's about the Patriot Act. I think possibly, I'm not sure, possibly investigators. I think you all should probably, I think police and law enforcement should probably either should find some investigators who are like adept and capable at operating this advanced technology, so they can like observe, like operate, so they can like observe like possible like records of in this advanced technology of events that I was a victim of crimes of during 2011 to 2020. While I was located in the United States, and I was a United States citizen at the time, investigators and that they can investigate about what was going on, and there can be a trial and criminal conviction, and that's sort of as far as like dealing with the situation, I think that's probably the best way would be like a guilty verdict. So that these people are like, a guilty verdict at least, so that these people are like people who've been harassing, assaulting, and battering me, like become very aware that like, severe criminal penalties are like an actual like threat, or an actual like possibility. I feel that if not like, maybe like, I'm not sure, I know they can do stuff with sentencing, so that maybe they get like, I'm not sure what it would be. I'm not sure if it would be like probation with conditions that they not batter me anymore. So like the reality of like a very severe prison sentence, I think might go a long ways to like help ensuring my safety. Also help prosecuting crimes against people, and prosecuting crimes against me, like violent crimes against me. And also, I think it could be useful in helping prosecute crimes against other people, like other people in California, other people in the United States, possibly also other people like on the planet Earth, and like other human beings. A crime by any means is a crime, I suspect. Strongly suspect. Even if it is like, perpetrated through like through the use of some advanced technology. It's still, a crime. If it like battery's still a battery, right? Regardless of. Okay. Okay. I usually do these in the morning. I think these are, I do a better, yeah. I just wanted to make sure I got something about the Patriot Act in here. Oh, and I'm kind of aware that there might be something about statute of limitations with the Patriot Act. Like, so that's like, that's pretty severe. Or it's like, or not severe, but like, I'm just saying it's like yeah. So it's like an issue. If people who are observing me, yep, or I don't know, it seems relevant. It seems like it might be relevant. That's all. I kind of don't feel like myself right now, so. I guess I'll make a video later, or like I'll try to make a different video about this. So I think there might be violations of the Patriot Act. What is it? Appear to be intended. Intimidate or coerce a civilian population. Yeah, I think possibly the stuff in Sonoma County during 2014 to 2020, like all the stuff, I think there was stuff going on like all over the county during that time. Possibly in other parts of California and the United States also. And I know as far as I experienced it, I suspect, as far as I experienced, I strongly suspect and believe that like it involved crimes and like violations of the California Penal Code, and like violations of the California Penal Code that include injuries to people, so like violent crimes against people. So I think that might qualify for acts dangerous to human life. I'm not sure how they define that, but I think that might qualify for acts dangerous to human life, and then appear to be intended to intimidate or coerce a civilian population. So with all this stuff that, like I think there was like a group of people and they sort of like all got excited and like possibly harassed, assault, and battered a lot of people in Sonoma County, and like sort of like made their presence known and sort of like had like an event that a lot of people like participated in, and there was like you know, like I guess there'd be conspiracies going on if these people like if additional people were being harassed, assaulted, and battered, like people, if you know, more people than just myself were being harassed, assaulted, and battered during that period, there'd be conspiracy, there'd be like premeditated, you know, and I think there might be like some like, yeah, so I'm not sure what like instigated all those people doing that, or like what got all these people excited in the first place, like why, who caused and who brought about like the events of 2014 to 2020 in Sonoma County, California, where like there might have been like an increase in the amount of people being like tortured and like through advanced technologies, harassed, assaulted, and battered through advanced technologies in Sonoma County during that period. Possibly like 2014 to 2018, somewhere in there, and possibly even continuing today. And like, what else has been going on? You know, there's that stuff in like, the campfire, like there are wildfires in Southern California. There's always wildfires in Southern California, but it seems like there might have been an uptick of wildfires. Like also, it just, for some reason, I recall like suspecting that like there was might have been a lot of stuff going on in the county, in Sonoma County during 2014 to like 2017, 2018. Possibly even the 2019 and 2020. I wonder like what's been going on, if people have been, and who's like orchestrating it, who's like, and what events, like how it all goes, what's the whole plot, and like how it all go, how's it all been going, and also because I think because of who I know and I had the everybody thing, I think I really strongly suspect like with my proximity to like various people and having like the everybody thing going on and like all the Southern California stuff, I really think I might have had sort of like kind of like a central like position, maybe not role, but like maybe even you could consider a role, like kind of like a lot of people were observing me being harassed, assaulted, and battered. I even suspect that like part of like events of a lot of like at least some of like the instigating parties, like possibly like Lee Rumley, Jeff B.I., Clark Anderson, or Lee Rumley, Jeff B.I., Rebecca Anderson, Charlie, Robert Grant, Clark Anderson. Like I think by proximity to them, and I think they might have been sort of like at least participated in some of the planning, and like they seem like they're pretty high up there. I think they got some like that, and had the everybody thing going. I think that like I suspect that part of how they perpetrated, but it would be intimidating and coercing a civilian population is by letting people observe how they were assaulting and battering me, and also my brother Daniel Coxon's position or like role in all this stuff. So I really think I might have had anyway. So what I'm trying to say, I think I was like instrumental, I think is the word. Like they used me. They used like assaulting and battering me. They used like that I was being like victim of crimes, that they were perpetrating crimes against me and battering me as like part of how they intimidated and coerced a civilian population. I think possibly those people, like the Jeff B.I. and Clark Anderson and all them, and also possibly like people like Daniel Coxon, Camille Bailey, possibly Bart Farrell, but Daniel Coxon, Camille Bailey, and like their associates. I think that would be, and also what I guess be maybe Jenna Leff, possibly. Appear to be intimidate a civilian population. They might have been trying to effect intimidation of a civilian population or like large amounts of people in Sonoma County by battering me. Because if I get publicized being battered, then they could, if these people don't get prosecuted, like what kind of position are the people who have battered me in? It seems like they, that's a bad way to explain it. Seems like they might have been trying to intimidate or coerce. Seems like they might be trying to intimidate. If they like assault and batter me in front of a lot of people, that can be like construed as intimidating, or some people might find it intimidating. Especially people who, if there's like a lot of people being harassed, assaulted, and battered right now, I guess those people might be intimidated. If they get, if there's like a bunch of activity going on in the county, and like a lot of it has to do with, or some of it has to do with like torturing someone, torturing people. That can be very intimidating. Also be, how do you persuade to do something by using force or threats? So it doesn't really, so just by using force or threats. So I'd say they're using force or threats to persuade people. Because I'm being like publicized, being harassed, assaulted, and battered. So that's like persuading towards people. It's persuasive to people. It can be persuasive to people. And they're using force and threats to affect that persuasion. So in population. There's also, what are Robert Grant and Rebecca Anderson and Clark Anderson and Jeff B.I. and possibly Lee Rumley doing? What's Robert Grant doing? What's Robert Grant and Jeff B.I. and Clark Anderson and Charlie and Rebecca Anderson doing to like influence the policy of a government? And it just says by intimidation or coercion. It doesn't say like actually like intimidating. They might actually like be like kind of intimidating towards the government. Like even me with the everybody thing, it did say, or at least it seemed that way. But I was saying stop, and like 2011 and 2013, I was kind of just like watching TV and like thought it kind of like interesting, or there's a lot I could say about that, but that's all I could say about it. So intimidation, like the wildfires, it just seems like there's enough there to like warrant like an investigation, or at least further like further investigation about. We might even, kind of even saying, it seems like they really might have, I'm not certain what's been going on in the rest of the county. I think like I've picked that up through like thinking and like kind of subtle indication that people sent to me. So I'm not really sure if it's like, it could be completely false, but I think there might have been stuff going on. It seems like there might have been. It could be wrong. It just from like the thinking and like kind of subtle stuff and anyway, subtle stuff in the thinking. Yeah. So I think they get it with intimidate or coerce the civilian population. So I think it qualifies as terrorism. I think whoever's been perpetrating some of this stuff, if there's, I guess it might depend on how it's all orchestrated and how people have gone about like doing all that they've been doing, and how events have come about to occur. So there might be issues with that. So I think it's very possible. And I think harassment, assault, and battery of myself may have been instrumental in intimidating and coercing civilian population, and also instrumental in influencing the policy of a government possibly by intimidation or coercion. So I think harassment, assault, and battery of me has been instrumental in influencing the policy of a government, possibly by intimidation or coercion. So I don't know. I'm not certain. I'm not currently certain if I qualify under intimidation or coercion. But I think I have been. I think harassment, assault, and battery, or excuse me. I don't know if harassment, assault, and battery qualifies under intimidation or coercion. I think harassment, assault, and battery has been instrumental in influencing the policy of government. Policy. Maybe not the policy. But maybe the policy. Possibly. Maybe not the policy, but I think possibly. I think it's possible. They do anything, they have a policy, They probably got some policies about how they deal with the everybody thing. Influencing the policy of government. And if Robert Grant and Clark Anderson are doing something with this everybody thing, then they're influencing the policy. Then they're influencing the policy of government. Now, if they're doing it with intimidation or coercion, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. They seem like they might all get along in some ways, but, who knows? Who knows? I'm not sure about that one right now. All right, maybe I'll think about it a different time. And then, the stuff about mass destruction, assassination, kidnapping, I kind of said that stuff already. Yep. I think there might be some. I gotta look at the federal code. I'm gonna look at a few federal code just to make sure. I think there might be some that qualify. So I want to make sure that. Try and do a better video later on. I'm not sure if I'll be able to though. Should probably go with the investigator. But I'll try and there were a few federal code ones that I thought they might qualify for. Okay, so I'm looking at the federal code. This would be Title 18, Crimes and Criminal Procedure, Part 1, Crimes, Chapter 19, Conspiracy, Section 373A, Solicitation to commit a crime of violence. That's 373, Solicitation to commit a crime of violence, Section A. So I'm not sure what people have been doing, who got together like the events of assaulting and battering me. So kind of like shifting here. Who orchestrated the events and got all these people together to harass, assault, and batter me during 2014 to 2020, and during like 2014 to 2018 when they were like really like still like when like the party was still like going strong, you know, who orchestrated the party. Okay. Okay, so now I'm looking at Federal Code, Title 18, Part 1, Chapter 7, Assault, Section 113, Assaults within maritime and territorial jurisdiction, Section A3, Assault with a dangerous weapon with intent to do bodily harm. So this advanced technology, it could be said it might be construable as a weapon. It could be, I think it seems like it could be used as such. Like all sorts of little batteries have occurred to me, you know, like I described earlier, and I think people who have done things to me, have done bodily harm to me, like I've described earlier, stuff to my neurological system, stuff to my body. So, Section 4, or 113A4, striking, beating, or wounding. You know, I think they've done that stuff. I don't know if I've gotten cold sores and herpes sores, so it could be said I've been wounded. I've also felt like intestinal pain, experienced rectal bleeding, drinking a lot of coffee, so it could be said my stomach has been like ulcered somewhat. Drinking a lot of coffee while these people were assaulting and battering me. They've also they've done like little assaults and batteries to my body, so it could be said they were beating me with this technology, or through the use of this technology, or striking me through the use of this technology. So, okay, Section 113B, definitions. So Section B1A, like I've described it says a temporary but substantial disfigurement. Like the stuff that happened to my penis after the penis pump stuff, 2013 to 2014 in Sonoma County, California, USA. My penis, like the head of my penis is like, it seems like more narrow or smaller. The midsection seems like a little bit bloated, and the base seems like more narrow. I've been concerned about like connective tissue, but it also feels like my penis feels more like rubbery. So in that sense, it's like a bodily injury that has caused disfigurement. And because I think because of like the sensitivity, or like the delicacy of like the genital tissue, and also just that it's like it's a part of my body that's been disfigured. So I think it's like visually noticeable. So I think that would constitute substantial disfigurement. Just saying, you know, it's right. It's been disfigured. It's substantial, and it's noticeable. It's like visually noticeable. You don't have to like slow down and look for it. It like looks like it's been. So I think that qualifies. Section B1B, a temporary or substantial loss or impairment of the function of any bodily member, organ, or mental faculty. So temporary but substantial loss or impairment of a mental faculty. With all the screwing and stuff that they did, and all the wooing and deeing, and just sort of basically taking control of my mental thoughts and my thoughts and they were in by doing things to my thoughts. There was a lot of screwing. There was a lot of there was times I'd just be lying there and then or there was at least once I was lying there and then all of a sudden I became hungry. So they were they were there's that. They're also doing stuff with my memory. So I'd all of a sudden I'd lose a memory. So all of a sudden I'd experience a memory. So they were doing things to my memory that part of my mental processes and part of my mental processes were being affected and directly operated on and caused. And in that regard, that I wasn't operating my own mental faculties. I'd say they impaired the function of my mental faculty. And possibly in additional ways, in additional interpretations, it would also qualify. But yeah, I think there was a temporary but substantial impairment of the function of my mental faculty during 2014 to 2020, multiple times. Section B3, the term dating partner, and spouse or intimate partner. I used to engage in sexual activity with Clark Anderson. I also engaged in sexual activity with Shauna Burston. I briefly engaged in sexual activity with Monica something from who I went to school with in Colorado briefly. I don't want to say her last name right now. Who else was there? I had sex one time with Nicole Locke. Maybe I should just look for section 226. Those terms are going to be 226. All right. So I got to look this up real quick. Oh, as far as the term bodily injury, I'm looking at section 1365, bodily injury. So serious bodily injury. So they did all those little harassments, assaults, and batteries of me, every day, all day long, or not every. I think possibly every day. 2014 to 2020, most days I think. They do all these little batteries to you, if they don't if they're reacting to what you do, they subtly hit your face or you cause and I'm not explaining it very well right now. Should get an investigator in on this to look at this advanced technology stuff. There might be They might have done like more than like 20 like little batteries of me a day for like a few years. I think that might constitute a lot of counts, or like this stuff's pretty serious, you know. I don't know how many more videos I can keep making to like try and convince people. And maybe I can keep making videos, but I'm having some difficulty focusing on this. I guess I'll keep moving. I think I might qualify. I'm not. Okay, I'm not sure about that one. I didn't finish that one. I didn't follow it all the way through. So I think possibly. Should get an investigator to look at this stuff. Okay, section, U.S. Code, Title 18, Part 1, Chapter 7, Assault, Section 114. This would be disfigure. There's the stuff with the penis pump. It's Maine. I think with the penis pump, I think the penis pump might qualify for maim and disfigure, because maim, wound or injure someone so that part of the body is permanently damaged. Oh, and you know what else? I think with the neurotech stuff, I think maim might qualify for the neurotech stuff, or the advanced technology stuff on my neurological system. I think they're just because like I think through the nature of just like all the extra activity, it's like cooked my neurological system. Just like there's been just like a lot of activity on like, you know, on my neurological system. And also I think like with the wooing and deeing, like I'm not sure, you know, it's been going on for so long, like I wonder how much like actual like reprogramming they've done. And then they, like in this, through this technology stuff. And how much O they've put in me, and how much O there's been of me, like how much O they made or like put in me, or like gate, or like, you know, did put in me when as I was being like harassed and tortured, as I was being tortured. So I was experiencing like distress. I was experiencing, you know, like the misery of, or there at times I think I experienced like, you know, that feeling of like I've been, you know, harassed, assaulted, and battered for years, and I'm not sure if when it's going to stop, and like it just keeps going. And there were times I was just like very like, you know, like what were they doing with that O? And there were times when I was like really suffering. I guess I'd say I was suffering. It was ongoing. I was distressed, and like when I was, you know, when I'm like times when I was being harassed, and like just, oh jeez. I already made videos. I'm referencing videos from earlier. That's why I'm not explaining it more like in depth. But like, what is that? What happens when that O, does that O get added to my O? And so is my O like permanently damaged? Has it been permanently affected? You know, I don't want a bunch of like misery O, you know? And also the stuff, when was it? April, yeah, the stuff like June, July 2019. There's stuff when I was like coming out of that, you know, some of it was really like fatalistic. Some of it was really like you're just gonna lie in your bed all day for the rest of your life, and that's just the end of it, you know. There was something like very like, and it like had like it was something very like disturbing about it. And I wonder if that in of itself was like, I wonder if that did something that I think that is like might constitute another instance of a lot of like maiming, and that they did something in my O, where it's like there's like, you know, they did something to my O where like they were like all like fatalistic, and like also like they were also harassing, assaulting, and battering me. That's what it was. They were harassing, assaulting, and battering me during that period. Remember I think I was saying no, and I was like trying to walk away, and it was like they did that like retarding thing. So that harassment, assault, and battery was going on, and meanwhile I was making O. And if I'm making O if I'm making O while I'm like disoriented on psych medication, on psychiatric medication, and like the people wheeling me are harassing, assaulting, and battering me, and they're doing some like woeful misery, like wheel, then I think that might constitute it might yet again constitute harassment, assault, and battery, and I think it might constitute maiming. I'm looking at the definition of maim, and I think it might constitute maim. I was looking at it. This is U.S. Penal Code or U.S. Code, Title 18, Part 1, Chapter 7, Section 114. Okay, but I guess we got and with intent to torture. Maiming. We gotta find intent to torture. I don't know if we qualify for this one. Haven't found section 2340 yet. There might be other sections that. We're gonna get it. I just want to get a few of the U.S. code violations in here, just so like, I think investigators should probably look at this stuff and find out how much, how much stuff is qualified. Oh, and also, I don't know how good it is for like my head to be talking so much. So I wonder if the police and law enforcement might be liable for like injury to my brain, in that I've been having to sit here and like make videos about stuff that's been occurring in order to like get like a trial to occur. Like I have yet to like find like an official response from them, or at least like an official acknowledged response. There has been like some like activity, or it seems like there's been portrayal of activities. So. Anyway, just something to consider, or it seems relevant. Okay, this is off the Cornell Law School website. It's law.cornell.edu, so I'm not sure. It's not from like the government website, but this is 18 U.S. Code, Section 2340. So I'm looking for intent to torture as defined in Section 2340. Means an act committed by a person acting under the color of law, specifically intended to inflict severe physical or mental pain or suffering. So I don't know if it will qualify under the color of law, because at times I think Daniel Coxon and Camille Bailey have possibly acted towards me, and possibly sometimes almost obviously fictitiously, and sometimes not obviously fictitiously. As though like they're doing something that is there's a lawful, it's lawful for them to be doing what they've been doing, like they're attempting, they were attempting to know me about, they're attempting to get me make me know what it's like if they're not thinking you, or know about things that occur, know about batteries that occur. So they battered you. I think that might have been their excuse, or there might have been something like that. So in order so that you know what it's like to be battered, they batter me. I think that's kind of what it might have amounted to, or something about it didn't seem legitimate. In fact, I'm actually I'm disputing it. I'm saying what they were doing was overly I feel like I've been harassed, assaulted, and battered. And when they at times when they said their excuse or their reason, I remember like disagreeing with it. I even remember trying to get them to not like talk about it or not say anything about it, because I was concerned that they'd like convince me, or like concerned that they might like convince people around me, or that I might like lose like grasp of the concept that these people were harassing, assaulting, and battering me. I didn't want to be like convinced that like I should accept them harassing, assaulting, and battering me. So yeah. Okay. So at times they tried to like act like, at least tried to act like what they were doing was like they had a reason to do it. And I think also like a lawful reason. I'm not exactly sure what the term color of law means, but anyway. I think people perpetrating crimes against me, 2014 to 2020, specifically intended to inflict severe physical, at times I think severe physical, but definitely like severe mental pain and suffering. I mean, there was like physical suffering, physical pain. What was there? There was I don't know what physical. They've caused me to feel. Yeah, maybe not physical pain. I'll have to think about physical pain different times. But I think definitely like mental pain and suffering, severe mental pain and suffering. I've been tortured and tormented since 2014 to 2020, and harassed 2011 to 2020. I've been tormented 2011 to 2020. You might also say I've been tortured from 2011 to 2020. Drink a lot of coffee today. I've taken a bunch of Vicodin, smoked some marijuana, so I'm kind of out of touch right now. But I'm like trying pretty hard, Anyway, to inflict severe physical, mental pain or suffering, living the pain or suffering upon another person within his custody or physical control. So because I think there's some technological accompaniment to my neurological processes, just like that's been like is now like normal throughout like my just sort of like my everyday life. Like it's just sort of like there is some technological coming to my brain. I think I might have been there since birth. I think a lot of people might have it that way. But being that I don't know how to operate that, and that like I think there's like might be like basic like maintenance and sort of like stuff that goes on, like stuff that normally goes on, and I think they've been doing a lot of like extra stuff to me also during like 2014 to 2020 and 2011 to 2020. There's been a lot of like extra activity, or at least I've experienced what seems like a lot of extra activity, a lot of extra stimulation, a lot of extra like stuff happening to me, like thoughts and like excitement. And it seems like there's been a lot. And so I suspect someone operates some sort of like control or like some sort of like access to this advanced technology, that is basically what might be considered a technological accompaniment to my natural neurological processes, my natural living in life, my natural self. So a technological accompaniment to myself. I suspect, I'm not sure who like maintains access to like this stuff. I don't know if it's like Daniel Coxon. I don't know if it's my dad Terry Coxon and his associates. Maybe it's my brother Tim Coxon. Maybe it's Rebecca Anderson. Maybe it's Charlie. Maybe it's a group of people. Maybe it's it might be Leonard, but I don't think so. Or it might be, I'm not sure who it is. I'm not sure who like maintains it, but anyway. So, but even if they like maintain control of that, like who's been like temporarily entrusted with my care, or who's like subsequently been entrusted with my care, or who else has been entrusted with my care, or who's been entrusted with my care for like even a few minutes, or like for part of a day, or like for an activity, So, yeah. Yep. Custody or physical control. Within his physical control. Within his custody or physical control. So yeah, you'd be like within these people's physical control, and that they can like come along and do things to you or cause you to do things, or might have been able to do that. I've seen depictions of these people. Who knows who's actually doing stuff to them. So, okay. I think, that being said, I think events 2014 to 2020, and I'm not sure about events 2011 to 2020. I haven't really thought about it. But 2014 2020, I think I've been a victim of what's defined, I guess it's maiming. Yeah, as stuff described in the U.S. Code, Title 18, Part 1, Chapter 7, Section 114, maiming within maritime and territorial jurisdiction. Okay, so, so I might qualify for kidnapping. There's but maybe not. Might not. Hey, dude. I'm not sure. I'm not even going to read these anymore. I'm kind of tired. Maybe I should try to do this in the morning. It's like a Sunday evening. So maybe, okay. So I think I qualify under some federal stuff. So it warrants like more investigation. I think that's been the point. Yep. Okay. So the Patriot Act and some federal stuff. Alright, it looks like it's sometime around dusk. It's currently about 6:04 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on February 9th, 2020. Currently located in the county of Sonoma, in the state of California, United States of America. California, or the number listed on the California driver's license issued to me is D4315123. I'm currently located at the address that's listed on the California driver's license issued to me. I was purportedly born on August 25th, 1986, in the county of San Francisco, in the state of California, United States of America. I'm going to turn on the TV to try and help confirm date and time. This is the local news, local Bay Area news, Fox 2, KTVU news.
You see the red. You can look at the numbers, but the colors, that represents... That is why...
This is channel 1208 OANNHD.
Burdened down by the impeachment files. So how do you explain the performance in Iowa, and why should...
How about your China?
This is channel 1210 FNCHD. Fox News.
So, Joe China, what exactly did Hunter do in Beijing in December 2013 when you took him there on Air Force 2? Was it a coincidence that less than 2 weeks later his company signed an exclusive and unprecedented bid?
The United States.
Channel 1213 Newsy Tonight.
I thought it was really important that there was a Republican out there every day calling out this president for how I knew $1 was complicated.
Your
This is
son
channel
Alan
1210
Bryant
Fox
was the
News.
chief medical officer at a tiny company called Startup Health that went on to receive unprecedented access and support from the Obama administration. Your brother James, with no experience in construction, was hired as an executive vice president of the
Total Bay Area customers at the moment. The
Channel
highway
2.
forced the Oakland Zoo to close several hours early today for the safety of guests. The zoo usually closes at 4 o'clock on Sundays, but today they closed about noon. The zoo is in the Oakland Hills, right by...
Alright. I'm like shaking my head at people communicating to me. Alright. No audio file this time. Audio recorder is kind of having some difficulty. Guess I'll try it with different batteries later. I'll show you outside. So, Sunday evening in Sonoma County, California. It's windy out. See a redwood tree out there blowing in the wind. Alright. That'll be, yeah. Okay, so it's currently about 6:08 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on February 9th, 2020. Jeez, hold on a second. Do one of these. I take a screenshot. Alright, so there'll be a PDF of the screenshot right now. I'd already closed the US Code website, so, or minimized it or closed it or something. So it'll be a PDF with all the files and video.